A more complex engine, whether turbocharged or just of more horsepower, requires more loving care and understanding than the four-bangers that power most of the trainers. By the time you get to the most powerful turbocharged engines, you are indeed dealing with a temperamental machine, one that will serve you well and faithfully only if you treat it correctly. That well and faithfully business takes on new meaning when the airplane's used for instrument flying. Treating it correctly means feeding it fuel in proper amounts and being gentle when changing power. If ever you would fly with a pilot who slams the throttle in or yanks it back, you're flying with a pilot who makes engines unreliable. We divide into two camps on engine care. One is the pilot who owns an airplane in whole or in partnership, who knows how it is operated, and who has continuous direct contact with the airplane. The other is the pilot who rents airplanes and has no way of knowing a lot about how they're treated. The owner pilot has a lot of advantages simply because of the continuous contact with the airplane. Engine operating trends can be monitored. Some pilots, I'm one of them, keep records on engine temperatures and pressures for a continuous track. Oil analysis is widely used. Rob told you about some of the engine instrumentation that is available to help in keeping tab of the engine. Personally, I have my engine inspected every 100 hours, even though it is not required, and I take the additional precaution of having the cylinders borescoped during each inspection. That simply means they examine the inside of the combustion chamber. The things that a renter pilot can do include getting to know the folks who maintain the airplanes. There are excellent shops out there, and there are some shops that aren't so excellent. The FAA approval of shops doesn't mean nearly as much as the dedication of the people to make those airplanes as good as they can be. You can also tell a lot about a rental fleet by noting the number of discrepancies left unattended on the airplanes. If a lot of things are always inoperative, that is not a good sign. The pre-flight is when you get your look at the rental airplane, and there's really only one place where you can learn something about the condition of the engine. That is in the process of checking the oil. Look at it. Is it black? Smell it. Does it smell burned? Those would be indications of problems in the cylinders and a lot of blow-by. How is the oil consumption? A wise man at one of the engine manufacturers told me that if an engine uses more than a quart of oil every 3 hours, you'd better pay attention and do something about it. A while back, my engine was exceeding that, even though the compression checks were okay. We tried to find a reason that the engine was burning so much oil. In the final analysis, the engine was sending a message by using a lot of oil. The poor sucker was just worn out and was begging to be replaced. Now Rob is going to tell you about turbochargers, those devices that allow you to fly high, but that do require understanding.